go over my pre-market game plan going into tomorrow, and I'll do a session recap of today's session. So as always, let's keep this quick, simple, and clean. Now, like I've been saying, right, we are not looking to short this overall market. I mean, this is beautiful, right? If you're trading this on the 1 minute, when market opens, it looks like we're having a complete sell-off. But no, all we're doing is pullback longs, right? I've said this before. I mean, it really does remind me of the COVID days, right? Just straight bull run, right? Like you can just enter a swing trade and to the upside, and when you wake up, you've already made 100% return, right? It's kind of crazy. So that being said, I mean, we're just looking for pullback long entries, right? So on SPY, right, the one thing I will say is we are in this channel, right? I've said this before. This is healthy. This is normal, right? Consolidation before the next leg higher or lower is 100% normal on a trend in stock, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 6 days, we have been stuck in between 673 and 669, right? We've been stuck. So what do I want to see? I want to see us break outside of this channel and turn it into support, continuing higher. If this sets up, this is a very big play, right? We finally turned the top of this channel right into a support and continuation higher, nothing in its way. So for tomorrow, the only two things we are looking for, right, is this break and retest over 673 to the upside or a pullback long off this 669. Hughes, I mean, remarkable, right? Pullback long right off our pre-market game plan, 607.15, right? Buyer step in down here. And I mean, look at the crazy run this thing's on. And after hours already, it's sitting above the previous day high, right? More likely to make a new all-time high, right? So like I said, we're just looking for pullback longs. Those are the highest probability setups in this type of market, right? You can see here, buyer stepped in very aggressively, and this thing just went on a crazy bull run to the upside. So the one thing I do like about Qs, right, is what do? Right? We got outside of this channel. I said for the past 2 days, there has been some divergence on SPY and the Qs. Qs have been a little bit heavier to the, I'm sorry, more bullish to the upside compared to SPY, right? SPY has been starting the day, pulling back, and Qs have been holding up. So that's something I've been noticing. But what I do like is, right, we're finally outside of the channel, right? That's what we want to see for more upside. So tomorrow, right, all we're looking for is pullback long, right, off the 609 or a pullback long off the 607. That is textbook Tesla, right? Now I really wanted to break Tesla down. Now, like I've been saying, Tesla hasn't done anything since Monday. It's just been consolidating. But what do I say about Tesla? It can consolidate for 3 days, for 4 days. But when it breaks out, it makes up for its entire consolidation period, right? So we're here on the 1 hour, right? What do we see here? Right? This is literally just a channel, right? This is just a channel. We don't want to be in here, right? The A plus long, my game plan all week has been a break and retest over 445 or a break and retest under 423.15. Those are high probability setups to the upside and to the downside. So tomorrow, same game plan, right? If we can get over 445, there's nothing in its way to the upside. And if we can get under 423.15, right? Nothing in its way to the downside. Now, the reason, give me 1 sec. Like I said, right? I'm not looking to short this name, but if we break under this, this is a good RR, right? Now, what do you notice, right? Every time we come down here, buyers are stepping up very aggressively, right? Buyers are stepping up aggressively, defending the same, right? So I'm sorry, Tesla is still intact to the upside. That's why we're not looking to short this name, right? So tomorrow, pretty much hands off in the middle of this range, right? We don't want to be in here. That's a low probability environment, right? Now, as you can see here, I do have, right, a possible long over 436.30. The only reason I like it is because of there's a couple of confluences, right? One, this is a 4 hour resistance level, and it's a previous day high, and we will be breaking outside of this channel down here, right? This, that's a good shot, right? And the overall higher time frame context is still intact to the upside. Those are 3 to 4 confluences that give this a high probability shot. But, right, if you take that trade, you have to understand market conditions, right? You would be going long into this channel, right? You don't want to do that. So if you do take this shot, which is it's a good setup based on the higher time frame context, but you are going long into a channel, you have to treat this as a scalp, right? And the only reason I do like it as a scalp is because keep in mind, right? It's Fridays, it's zero DTEs. A quick scalp will pay you very well on Tesla, but tread carefully, right? If you take that long off of this 436.30, just know you are going long into this channel on the 1 hour, right? We avoid channels for a reason, low probability environments. So tread carefully. But tomorrow, the two key levels we're looking for still 445, 423. AMD, right? So, like I said, I was letting this develop, right? After we had that huge rally, right? That big gap up during the after hours due to news, I was just letting price develop, right? And it's been doing so. Now, what did I say today that I wanted to see, right? I wanted to see a candle form, a daily candle form above this previous all-time high, pull back, retest this, and continue higher, right? That is beautiful. This is what I'm looking for tomorrow, right? A pullback long off this previous all-time high and then continuation higher, right? This is a very big setup occurring. If we get that, I like it. If not, I'm pretty much hands off, right? You can look to go long off the previous day high. As you know, I don't trade off of previous day highs and lows, but this is a high probability setup. If we fall under this 227.30, right, I'm hands off. Now, let's zoom out here. I doubt we are going to pull all the way down to 209.30, right? I highly doubt it. But just in case, right? Why is this a good short for me, right? This is a very big gap though, right? If we fall under this, right, this is not only a 4 hour support level that you can see is being highly respected. This is a big gap fill to the downside, right? So if that sets up in the future, that is definitely something that I'm looking for. But tomorrow, the only game plan that I'm looking for on AMD is a pullback long off this 227.30. NVIDIA, right? So to me, NVIDIA can be a little tricky tomorrow, right? So today was a great day. If you took this, that was great. I didn't just because there was a gap fill right under this, but we gapped up, right? Dip and rip right off the all-time high, continuing higher. That was textbook. Now, I'm going to tomorrow, right? There's only two things that I'm looking for, right? Pullback long off this 191 or a pullback long off this 189. Now, right? This is still a gap fill, right? NVIDIA still has to fill this gap, right? That is something that I want to see, right? But either way, these two longs are valid. If we fall under this 189.40, I'm pretty much hands off, right? Why am I hands off? Give me one sec. Why am I hands off? I mean, we're going back into this, right? You can look for a long off this 188.15. That would be valid too, but that's just doing too much. Right now, you're kind of back inside of this channel, right? The better RR trades is a long off this 191 or this 189, right? I prefer the long off this 189 because then we filled this gap, right? This gap from us gapping up during the after hours, right? This is something that I want to see. So the only two key levels I'm watching tomorrow is 191 and 189. Apple, like I've said, right, we are not looking to short this name, right? This thing is still intact to the upside. What happens today? We pull back, we hold the 253.90, like I've been saying, and buyer stepped in, and look what we're doing during the after hours. We're pushing up, right? So coming into tomorrow, let me zoom in here, right? Coming into tomorrow, right? What are we looking for? I'm looking for this, right? Pull back long, top of the range, or a break, retest over 257.35, targeting all-time highs. This thing has been in play for about, 2 weeks now, which is kind of crazy. The last 2 days we've been flirting with this 257.35. It looked really good yesterday that we got some price action to close above. And as you can see, we just had a complete sell-off. Now, why do I like this, right? Remember, this is a lot of thin volume that has to be filled, right? So if we can get a pullback long off this 253.90, targeting the top of this range and get some continuation, I really do like that, right? So like I said, on Apple, we're not looking to short this name. It's still intact to the upside for all-time highs. These are the only two levels, right, we are looking to trade off of. If, very big if, I doubt it, but if we fall under this 250.85, then I'm looking to short this name, right? But let's zoom in here on the daily, right? This is very key. Let's break this down. Give me one sec, right? Which do the damaged body tells the story, right? I mean, this trend line has been respected, right? This was a lot of built up liquidity. We pull all the way back, and look how this gets bought up, right? Buyers are defending this 253.90. That's why we're not looking to short this. This thing is still intact to the upside. We're honestly not that far away. You can see there's a lot of supply up here, right? A lot of supply. Every time we push near all-time highs, the thing just gets pushed back down. But we are still intact to the upside. So only looking along this name, we're looking for a pullback long over 253.90 or a break and retest over 257.35. Palantir, this was a big day. We had this late day rally to the upside. Now, right, what do I like? Right, we are outside of this channel, right? We've been avoiding this channel, right? That is really good. We've been avoiding this channel. Now we're sitting on top of it. If we can pull back, right, retest this and target this weekly high and all-time highs, that is a really good shot. Now, there's something to be cautious about here on Palantir, right? Something to be cautious about. Let's break this down. There are a lot of sellers sitting up here, right? This is a weekly resistance level. There's no surprise that as soon as we pushed right on the dot into this weekly resistance level, we reject very hard, right? As you can see over here, right? Over here. So every time we get inside of this 188 and 184, the price is pushed back down, right? So be cautious of that, right? As you can see on the time frame, right? We are stair stepping higher, right? We are stair stepping higher, right? This is intact to the upside. We're not that far from all-time highs, but tread carefully, right? Let's zoom out here on the daily, right? This was good. We finally look at this candle, right? We finally got a bit of this candle closure above. Look at all these candles over here, right? When we get to 184.50, it's been very hard to get a daily candle close. So today, if we can form, I'm sorry, tomorrow, we can form a candle above this and get something like this. That is a really clear shot times towards all-time highs, right? We're not that far away, right? So just be cautious, right? Trading Palantir, trading anything tomorrow, to be honest. It's zero DTEs, right? Scale accordingly. Don't be aggressive, right? And trade your plan, right? So hope this helps. My main watch going into tomorrow for me is really NVIDIA and Apple, right? These are really my main two watches going into tomorrow. I'm just looking for these two pullback longs on NVIDIA, right? See that gap fill, and then Apple. If we flirt around this 253.90, I'm looking for this, right? Targeting the top of this range or this,